What is up, my beautiful friends? We are back for another episode of the hashtag Get Unstuck podcast. First of all, I want to start with a small apology. If you're new here, hi, welcome, and just skip over this because it won't really matter. But episode 346 was going to be something totally different. I was in the middle of creating Boom, and so many things shifted in my life that I will be sharing eventually, just not quite right now. So today's episode is being recorded and uploaded, and it's going to be about why cardio isn't giving you the results that you want after 40. Now, I am a fitness and lifestyle channel, but I also do a lot of like personal creating and journaling, and I'm a fitness instructor, and I teach bar, and I do life coaching. So there's a lot going on, but in this season of life, I need to do what is going to fill up my teapot the most. Just like I tell you girls, you cannot pour from an empty teapot. So if you are constantly pouring into everybody else's cup, their teacup, and your teapot is empty and you're not taking care of yourself, you're not putting yourself, not that you want to put yourself above everybody else, but you definitely want to take care of yourself before you can actually pour into anything or anybody else. And that takes some rewiring, because we were programmed as good girls to always do for, cook for, make sure everybody's needs are met. Like that's what a motherly type instinct, even if you're not a mom to humans, you may have a dog or a cat, and your instinct is to nurture and take care of. But there comes a season where you're tired. You're just freaking tired. And that doesn't mean that you love anybody any less. It just means that your body is telling you, or gonna make you, pay attention to yourself. So I'm gonna get off that little soapbox. I wanted to say hello. I hope you're doing well. Episode 346 today, we're talking about why cardio isn't giving you the results that you want, especially over the age of 40. So if you're doing more cardio than ever, which a lot of women are, I just took on 3 new nutrition clients, and all 3 of them are in the same funk, the same, I'm doing all the work, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating. Yeah, is that how they worded it? I'm eating healthy, and I'm doing air quotes. I'm eating healthy, and the scale is just not moving. I feel like it's going in the wrong direction. So if you are doing more cardio than ever, but the scale still isn't moving in the right direction, this episode is definitely for you, especially if you're a woman over 40. That advice with cardio might actually be what is keeping you stuck. So today's episode, I'm going to explain the biggest mindset shift that I teach every nutrition client. And again, it takes some rewiring. This is not easy work. It's an easy decision, but why building muscle actually matters, why I created Tone. And you don't have to do Tone. You can do whatever program or whatever personal training you want to do, but Tone is just something really simple that you print out your workbook every month, and I give it to you on a silver platter. You just have to show up for yourself and your body. But why strength training doesn't have to be heavy weights either. Changes your metabolism differently than cardio alone, and how to work with your changing body instead of against it. So if you're tired of feeling like you have to earn your food or burn your food off on the treadmill, this episode will completely change how you think about exercise. We're going to talk about why cardio isn't bad, but why it shouldn't be your only strategy. It kills a lot of women's metabolism. And yeah, when you're younger, absolutely, you're going to burn those calories and you'll see it pretty quickly. But once you hit that threshold number of about 40-ish, your body does not respond. And I'm sure you can attest to that. Every woman I've ever coached definitely agree. I don't have any one person that doesn't agree with that statement. So what happens after a strength workout and why that makes it so powerful, it's kind of like the magic sauce, even though there is no magic sauce. We know this, but like if I had to use a word right now, that's what came to mind. Why muscle matters more after 40, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to go in the gym and power lift, ladies. We're not talking about that. And that old myth of, I don't want to get bulky. Let's just clean that off the table right now, because you are not, I swear to you, you are not going to get bulky if you lift up weights. I hope you hear me. You're not going to get bulky. If you want to get bulky, it's going to take a lot of work. And I'm talking years, like over 4 years of weights for you to try and bulk up. So that is not going to happen. You're not going to pick up a weight and be like, oh my God, I feel so bulky. Like, no, you're not going to look like Muscle Mania either. We're also going to talk about how to stop chasing exhaustion and start chasing some results. So before I hop into this, there is something weighing on my heart. So if you're not, a Christian, that's okay. If you, whatever it is that higher being, I'm not getting into religion at all. Okay, let's be clear. I don't do religion. I don't do politics. I don't do any of that. But there is something I want to read to you right now, and it's in Chronicles, and it is, what is it? It is Chronicles 6, 13. It's just a piece of it. I just felt called to do it, so I need to listen and obey. I'm doing the Lord's work here, okay? Okay. Then he knelt on his knees in the presence of all the assembly of Israel and spread out his hands toward heaven and said, O Lord, God of Israel, there is no God like you in heaven or on earth, keeping covenant and showing steadfast love to your servants who walk before you with all their heart, who have kept with your servant David, my father, who you declared to him. You spoke with your mouth and with your hand have fulfilled it this day. Now therefore, O Lord, God of Israel, keep for your servant David, my father, what you have promised him, saying, you shall not lack a man to sit before me on the throne of Israel, if only your sons pay close attention to their way, to walk in my law as you have walked before me. That is Chronicles. It's just a piece I felt called to read. It was actually 14 and 15 and 16. So that's six. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. Pivot. Here we go. Can I let you in on something that I have noticed in the past couple of weeks? Like I mentioned, I signed on 3 new nutrition clients, and they're 3 different women. They have 3 different stories, but similar, 3 different bodies. And every single one of them came to me believing the exact same thing. I need to do more cardio. Now, that belief has been around for decades, as we know, like run more, sweat more, burn more calories. If you're exhausted after your workout, then it must have worked, right? But let me tell you something. I used to believe that too. I was your 90 step aerobic instructor with 5 levels up. The higher, the better. Forget about the knees. But here's what I want every woman listening today to understand. Sweating more doesn't automatically mean you're getting better results. Please hear me when I say this. Sweating more on the freaking bike or the treadmill or the Stairmaster, it does not automatically mean that you're getting better results. Cardio definitely has its place. I look at cardio as heart health, to make sure that my heart is pumping and my blood is pumping, my veins and arteries are working right, and all the things on the inside are pumping like a big pumping station. Walking is incredible. You guys know that, like, there's not one client I don't give the recipe or prescription to go for a walk every single day. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, get outside and walk. It may be for heart health, but it also might be for mental clarity. It also might be just therapeutic and for your central nervous system. But your heart does need cardio. Don't let me come across wrong with that. Your lungs need cardio. Your mental health benefits from the cardio. So it isn't a cardio bashing episode at all. It's about understanding that if cardio is the only thing you're doing, especially after 40, like if you're like, I'm a moderate worker-outer, because that's one of the questions on my nutrition assessment is how often do you consider yourself doing exercise and working out? And moderate is the normal answer. And defined in that means that that person is probably going to the gym 5 times a week, getting on the treadmill for 30 minutes. So I need you to understand that if cardio is the only thing that you're doing, especially over the age of 40, you may be missing the piece that changes everything. And that piece is muscle. Every time, like there's a difference. Let me be clear about this too, because I didn't understand this either. Losing weight, like getting on the scale and the scale going down, losing weight, example, Ozempic, injections, GLP-1s, they make you like not have an appetite. They make you not think about food. They suppress a lot of addiction type behaviors. Just not hungry. I'm not going to eat. You can lose weight, but losing weight on the scale is not the same as fat loss. That's what they call skinny fat. The people that have lost a bunch of weight, so now their skin is actually hanging a little bit. I'm not judging anybody here. Like our bodies are meant to do what they do. I'm just trying to explain that weight loss and fat loss are two different buckets. So when someone comes to me and I'm like, what's up? What do we want to do here? You want to lose fat? You want to lose weight? You want to gain muscle? You want to be toned? You want to be stronger? What is the goal? And a lot of people, it's all in one bucket. They think that's all the same thing, but it's not. They're all very, very, very different training styles. So muscle building comes from strength training, and it doesn't have to be the kind that you're envisioning on the stage as a bodybuilder. That's not, y'all know me, I teach bar, I like a ballerina lean freaking body. It's still very feminine, but it's strong and it's tone. That's the body style I work toward. But every now and then I'd like to see a little definition in my bicep and my back too. Also my legs. So that's muscle definition. And that would be fat loss, leaning out, not weight loss. So every time you challenge your muscles with some kind of resistance training, which by the way, I am going to plug Tone shamelessly right here, TONEN10.com. Every month I've got a challenge for you, a 21-day workout. We take a week off in between programs. If you want, you can do these 10 minutes a day. And I guarantee you your whole life is going to shift. It's going to change. So it's very inexpensive. You get a new workbook every single month. So there's my plug for Tone. But it doesn't have to be Tone. You can be working out wherever you go. But if you're the type of person that walks in the gym and you're like, oh my God, I'm just going to stay here for an hour. You play on your phone a little bit. You get your headphones on. You get your music right. You sit down and you start to do a workout and you're like, I'm going to do a little bit of this and I'm going to do a little bit of this. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to work my back a little bit. And then like you're basically going or trying to hit a destination without a map. So I know when people come into the gym, I see them every single day. And that's great that they're there. That's half the battle, right? Getting to the gym, or even if you're working out at home, that is half the battle, is getting dressed and motivated, or do it in your pajamas. I don't care if you're at home. That's what I used to do. Just whatever it takes to get moving. But know that if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have a recipe to make the muffins, they may or may not come out with the results that you want. So if you don't have the recipe to get to the goal, you may or may not achieve those results. And then you're going to get frustrated because you're like, I went to the gym for 6 months and I didn't lose a pound. That's definitely possible. And absolutely. If you don't have the recipe to lose how much weight in how much time, you got to have the recipe. So every time you challenge your muscles with some type of resistance training, Tone and 10, whether that's dumbbells, body weight, resistance bands, or like I said, my Tone workouts, you create tiny amounts of stress in the muscle fibers. Now your body has to do the work. It has to recover. It has to rebuild. It has to repair. So instead of the treadmill that you just did for an hour, as soon as you get off the treadmill, calories stop burning. You burned all the calories you're going to burn while you were on the treadmill. And then you're hungry. And I know you're thirsty. But after you do the Tone workouts, guess what? Your body's still burning calories after. Your body keeps working after your workout's over. That's one reason this can be so effective. You're not just exercising for the 30 or 40 minutes that you're in the workout. You're giving your body a reason to adapt, to become stronger, to preserve the muscle. And that is so especially important for women as we age, because after 40, especially after menopause, we naturally begin losing muscle if we don't actively work to maintain it. That's what they mean by over the hill. Like you're going down the hill now. The muscle is like, okay, I built it up and now we're going down. Unless you're like, oh, no, we're going to plateau this baby. We're going to go flat surface. We're going to keep that muscle. So even if you're not seeing growth, you want to make sure that you're doing the training for maintenance. Less muscle often means a lower resting metabolism over time. That's why so many women tell me, I eat less than I ever have. I work out harder than I ever have, but nothing is changing. And that's not because you're lazy. It's not because you failed. Your strategy may simply need a change. You need a recipe. I tell my tone babes something all the time. We're not trying to destroy our bodies. No way. We're fragile, some of us. We're trying to teach them. We're building a body that's capable. A body that's strong, that's healthy, that's functional, mobile, one that can carry groceries, play with grandchildren maybe, travel and have fun and not ache, live independently, and yes, burn calories more efficiently over the long run. I don't want you to think you have to leave every workout drenched and completely exhausted for it to count. Some of the most effective workouts don't look flashy at all. They're kind of boring. They're intentional, they're progressive, they're consistent. Because consistency beats intensity every doggone time. So if you have been spending hours on the treadmill, wondering why you're still frustrated, maybe it's time to stop asking, like, how many calories did I burn today? And start asking, which, by the way, side note, when you come into my nutrition coaching, I usually refer you to an app that's going to help you, especially in the beginning, tracking your macros, tracking your food, tracking your calories, tracking your protein, all the numbers that I give you based on your goals and a time frame, the recipe, right? Your recipe. But in that same app, it'll say, how much did you exercise today? And I tell all my girls, do not put any of your exercises in there. That app we're using is strictly about food and nutrition and fueling your body. We're going to keep the exercise in a totally different bucket because 80% of what you see in the mirror is not in the gym. It's your nutrition. 20% of what you see in the mirror is the workout. So if no one's told you lately, you do not have to punish your body to change it. You can work with it. You can fuel it. You can strengthen it. And when you do, everything begins to change. I'm not here for a quick fix. I am not here to tell you to go inject yourself with whatever. I'm cheering you on until next time. I want you to keep moving. I want you to know that you have the power. Keep growing, and remember, life is always in motion. I do have a side note for you. If you're still here, you are my babe. Thank you so much. As you know, I have journals on Amazon. This is definitely not related to the podcast at all, but if you're still here and you're still listening, we are like best friends, okay? If you are on TikTok, I have a secret. I have a secret hideout, and I've got like 50 followers. Like nobody knows I'm there. So this is only if you're interested in journaling. It could be fitness journal. It could be family journal. It could be if you used to like scrapbooking and you got out of it. Like I'm definitely tapping back into my creative. Y'all know I love to create. This is something I have never really stopped doing, but I just started sharing a little bit on my private little TikTok. So again, if you're here and you're listening, it's Malibu Dream House. And I'll see you there. I love you. Bye.